have a busy schedule.
Which is actually kind of crazy.
I've heard the rumors.
Yeah, I've seen it. I actually like to watch over as she's playing.
There we go.
All right, here we go. So, welcome back to the Nub Podcast. I'm the Merce.
This is Felton.
And today, I think we'll probably discuss neutering dogs, actually. It's probably the topic.
That's
of
important.
choice.
That is unsettling.
I'm looking right now at Felton's girlfriend has made a little a picture
Little cutout of my face.
Yeah, and put it on
For
a
her
brush. Yeah, for her trip, and she's almost full on making out with it, which is kind of creepy. Cause I feel
and
like
she's rubbing it?
Oh,
okay.
okay.
All right.
I feel like I should leave the room.
That is PG
But I almost feel like you should leave the room, 13? Too. I feel like she needs private time with just that picture. Like, it's very strange.
A bit different.
Very, very strange. All right. Tonight's podcast is brought to you by alcohol.
Okay. Full disclosure. All right. So this has been the medical cast. We're gonna continue the medical cast.
Oh my God! Here we go.
All right. So this has been the week of hell with my insurance company and my medical equipment provider.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a well-known fact, but I have sleep apnea. All right.
I think we've mentioned it like 8 times on the podcast. So if anybody listens and they know,
basically,
they know more about your medical history probably than your doctor does. It's kind of strange.
They know more about my medical history than they know about nerddom from this podcast.
Exactly.
So I straight up got 4 phone calls this week about how I had to return my CPAP because my insurance is changing through work.
Yeah.
So I was pissed off. And, it turns out I'm getting a new one through connections that I've made over
Black
time.
market.
Black market, basically. Yeah. And so, there was basically a light at the end of the tunnel of this whole thing. But this has just been such a stressful week for this whole bullshit. Yeah, there's another picture of my face getting printed. That is unsettling, just as the first. Let me throw it. There we go. All right.
Just in case Dave wanted coffee.
All right.
I do,
that's
actually.
For you.
Yes,
print out for your home.
See, I like coming here to do the podcast because I leave with treats and gifts and stuff.
Just all these things. Harry Potter and, the atriums and all that shit.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. So this has been an exciting week for me with my blood pressure and stress.
Yeah.
So yeah, I drank a bottle of wine before you came over because I was like, oh, hey, we can record tonight or tomorrow. And I'm like, well, I'm drunk, so if it comes over tonight, that's great.
Yeah.
And if tomorrow, I'll be sober. So
and hungover, so
tonight's drunk cast.
Yeah. Oh God, we should have waited till tomorrow, and then it could be the hungover cast, and
right.
The whole time you could be like,
oh Jesus, I'm so dehydrated, and I have a headache, and it's gluten. Oh God damn.
Oh my goodness. So, we went on our mandate.
Yep.
And we saw the Rogue One
twice.
Yeah, twice now. Yeah, it's true. Because somebody who will remain nameless fell asleep at the end of it and had no idea how it ended. And that's not a commentary.
That wasn't me.
That's not a commentary on the movie. That's just a commentary on the fact that I work crazy hours.
You work, in excess of 10 and 12.
16 usually
16
is my average. Yeah. And then I want to go to the movies, the next day. So
you want to have a life.
Yeah.
But that's allowed.
So please do not, if you haven't seen the movie, do not take the fact that I fell asleep at the end. I mean, that somebody fell asleep at the end of the movie as a indicator of the actual movie itself. So thoughts on Rogue One?
Not to give away anything.
Give it all away. Give it away.
I'm going to give away everything.
Now.
I love the darker turn it had.
Yes.
That was absolutely welcoming.
Mm-hmm.
They definitely made a definitive statement that they weren't going to make some children's movie with this.
Well, they went out of their way to define themselves as a different Star Wars movie.
Oh yeah.
By first off,
well, within the first 15 minutes.
Well, within the first 15 seconds, I will give this part away. If you haven't seen the movie yet, I'm going to give one thing away. So they do not do the scrolling little mini story at the beginning of the movie. It's like they start with the music, and the music is different.
Yeah.
They even change the music.
Tune.
Yeah, it's like it starts almost Star Wars, and then it's like, oh wait, this isn't the Star Wars theme.
This is dark.
But they go straight from from the title screen to whoop, right into the movie. They bypass, and it was purpose. I mean, you could tell it was purposely done abruptly, so you would notice, oh wait a minute, we didn't get the scrolling words. And actually, when we went to see it the second time, when we had my girlfriend and her brother with us, I heard him audibly sigh, like
what?
Like what?
I don't have any framing.
Yeah.
Well, because here's the thing, this movie was the framing for the next one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this,
The first paragraph was this movie.
I have to say though, but they still had the comedic elements, which I actually feel like were actually a little more present in this movie than they were in some of the other movies. But there was a much darker side. Like one of the main characters. I mean, he's a dark character.
He's straight up like what Han Solo was.
Before George Lucas screwed up.
Before the revisionist DVD editions of Star
Wars. When Han shot first, that's kind of what this character is like. And again, we don't want to give anything away.
There's no question he shot first.
There is no question.
And probably many, many untold times before that.
Yes. I love the fact that it's another strong female lead.
Yep.
You know, and she does such a good job.
Let's talk about Jyn Erso.
Yes.
Okay. Battlefront.
Mm-hmm.
She's a bit OP.
Okay.
She's got her little beady stick.
Mm-hmm.
I beat Palpatine like he was a child. Yeah. Like, I was playing online, I would pick Jyn, because I'm like, well, and I hadn't even seen the movie yet.
Yeah.
I was like, fucking Jyn Erso, let's go.
Yep.
And there was some poor schlub online, and I just started whacking him with a little wacky stick. And, yeah.
Well, can we talk about K? Was it K520 or whatever it was? Let me tell you, I have not enjoyed a droid in Star Wars as much as I enjoyed him since Knights of the Old Republic, when you got that assassin droid or whatever it was, the badass, like angry droid. That I mean, he was sarcastic, he was funny, he was cool. I mean, it was
let's talk about who voiced him.
Yes, tying in the nerddoms.
Yep,
like Nerds United in the movie theater.
Ooh, Serenity.
I was gonna say, have you gone mentally?
Firefly.
Yes.
Yep. Alan Tudyk.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. The con man himself.
Yep. Let me ask you a question, just real quick. So how do the what are they? The Ravengers? Is that what they call them? Were the bad guys in?
I think they were the Ravengers. I don't remember.
Oh wow, yeah, I've got. Well, how do they clean their spears? They'd run them through the wash.
Oh, come on.
Too soon? Okay. So,
come on.
No, he did a great job though, and I didn't even recognize it was his voice. I'm glad that you looked it up when we were like outside the. Oh wow.
Well, because the reason why is he sounded very much like. I thought they had gotten the voice actor from.
Hold on a second. I just want to point something out. Your girlfriend just told me that she made your picture waterproof.
She laminated it with packaging tape, and I have no idea
why does it have to be. Tape. Well, why does it have to be waterproof?
What the hell? You had laminate sheets around? Where?
This is amazing.
All right. I mean, that's incredible.
I'm gonna steal this. Actually,
okay.
Is this odd for you? Now I
actually can't see it because of my cardboard volume shield.
Oh wait! Oh, I got two of them now. So now it's almost like I'm in a Felton sandwich.
Yeah.
With the two pictures.
This is like a real life meme.
Mm-hmm.
And she's taking a picture. Wow.
We're definitely going to have to post this on the on the nub.
I don't know how I feel about the whole endeavor.
I just don't know why it has to be waterproof. That's the part that's got me weirded out.
Does it though?
Well, she said it's waterproof.
Does it have to weird you out?
I mean, I'm just going to act like I'm a juvenile child.
You can consider that why it would weird you.
All right,
it's necessary.
Back to Rogue One. This is the ADD podcast.
Yeah. This is the Christmas stress of life, atrocities of the world podcast.
Oh my God! Let me tell you something. Actually, so a friend of mine who I owed some money to, I paid him in a check. I'm just, you're talking about the Christmas,
Yeah.
I paid him in a check months ago, and lost track of this check, thinking that he had cashed it. I get a text this morning when I'm waking up. Hey, I was on my way to the bank to cash this check. Just want to make sure that you're okay. I don't want to bounce you. And I about lost my mind. I was like, you realize this is almost Christmas. Like Christmas is this week. you can't go cash a check on me that I gave you months ago. Right before Christmas.
I was planning on you taking the money out months ago. And maybe it's just my poor banking skills, but I had made that check and I assumed that the money had been withdrawn months ago. So. Yeah, I almost had a heart attack. I had like a mini heart attack waking up this evening. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do that every day.
Well, yeah, but that's
because the
you
alarm
stopped
was going
breathing.
off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I stopped breathing, and the past month I've slept the best that I've ever had in my entire. My nightmares have stopped.
Oh well, that's no fun. Like that, we talked about how
my creativity, has kind of been a little bit hurt by it.
Yeah.
But I just was considering it. I'm like, god damn, since I've gotten used to the CPAP, like I've actually either not had dreams or they've just been mundane as hell.
Yeah.
And wow,
like going grocery shopping and things like that.
I had a dream last night. I was at the library. I'm not exaggerating. I was at the library looking for a book.
Well, was it? Now that might have been a nightmare. Did you have to use the decibel system? Like
no,
the old
I was
school?
just browsing.
Oh no,
it was just like, oh, here's a library. I'm just going to look around. And I woke up and I'm just kind of like, what to Christ was that? It was off-putting.
Oh man. So back to Rogue One.
Yeah, Rogue One.
Where do we leave off? Okay, so it's a darker tale. You got the cool droid in this one.
Mm-hmm.
You've got almost a Jedi.
Almost
not
a gay
Jedi.
couple.
Well, yeah, I guess they are. I don't know. I thought of more like brothers.
They didn't deny it, and they said, "Well, yeah, we'll let you fill in." So basically, they've not said no, but they've not said yes. Mm-hmm. So what?
I don't know. I didn't feel any type of way.
Here's the thing
about that.
What's his name?
Which one?
The Asian gentleman.
Which one? There's two of them.
The one with the staff, the blonde one.
Oh, okay. Honestly, I cannot remember.
Isn't that Dawn of the Dragon? No.
No, it's not.
Oh, god damn it.
Alright, so now it's the Google Cast.
It's the Google Cast.
But yeah, I like the fact that you pointed out, and I thought that I'd noticed it before, but I'm glad that you pointed out when we saw it the second time that it looks like...
Donnie Yen. How the hell could I not remember that? Donnie Yen's one of my favorite fucking people. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Donnie Yen, sorry.
It's okay. I like that you pointed out that he's got looks like a lightsaber that's been, or a stick that's been shoved onto a lightsaber as his
or parts of it, rather. Yeah.
But actually on Snapchat there was this whole thing about like Easter eggs and extra information from Rogue One and I do have to say like most of that stuff I caught when we saw the movie between the two times because most of it it's pretty blatant.
They don't. I mean, it's not stuff that occurs in like the extreme background.
Yeah,
kind of like R2D2. And
what they did do though,
and
what they did do is like Forrest Whitaker's character.
I fucking love Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah, I love Forrest Whitaker too. But his character, and I didn't really watch I didn't watch the cartoon as I didn't watch the cartoon as much as I probably should have. But I guess he's a Clone Wars character.
Yes.
Well, and then this is his grown up version, in this movie. So I thought that was kind of cool. I love the fact that they went ahead and there's a couple of characters like that are in this movie that were from like the Clone Wars and things like that. The things that they said that are canon, they went ahead and added them in here.
They've straight up confirmed now Star Wars Rebels.
Because
the ship Star Wars Rebels
exactly.
Was in it.
I was just gonna say, yep. And so there's that droid, the orange droid with the attitude. He's actually in the background as well from Mars, which I didn't notice.
Which has me so excited. Yeah. Because I'm absolutely committed. I 100% want to do Cad Bane now.
Okay.
As a cosplay.
Yeah, I think you can pull it off.
I'm hoping that I can get it done before they do some major film thing, with Cad Bane in it. And I'm like, I'm going to be fucking ahead of the game.
Now, here's the thing that surprised me. I thought that there was a big to-do about Boba Fett was going to be in this movie. But I guess that's not the case. I know that they were talking about doing a Boba Fett movie on its own. But I thought that Boba Fett was supposed to be in this movie. So I was that's the only, if I were to say that I was disappointed about anything with this movie, because honestly, there's nothing to be disappointed about with this movie. If you are a Star Wars fan, good. Even if you're not a Star Wars fan, like if you just like, spending 2 hours sitting and watching a good film. Yes.
If you're a fan of that type of thing.
Yeah.
Then you should probably see it.
Because that's the thing is like, I feel like if I wasn't a Star Wars fan, I mean, I can't really speak that way because I've always been a Star Wars fan. But if I wasn't a Star Wars fan, I could imagine that you would still enjoy this movie.
Can we have a discussion about that?
Go ahead.
Why is it that these ideas of Star Wars and Star Trek are mutually exclusive? Because here's the thing.
Are they Vulcans, really still?
Well, not anymore.
Okay.
Not anymore. But my point being is that Vulcans would be the best Jedi.
Oh, why can't the two worlds collide? Is that what you're saying?
Vulcans? Oh my god, could you imagine a Vulcan Jedi? They would straight up be just like, boom, boom. They would be the epitome of Jedi.
I mean, it's almost the same.
Exactly,
general
that's
thing.
what I'm saying.
That's the you know.
I actually thought of that today
Mhm.
as I was doing my tolling around work.
Yeah, that's really like Star Trek's only real like mystic quote unquote kind of character.
They
in
do the
Star
Vulcan
Trek
mind
is-
melds,
yeah, like,
and they're very logical.
Yeah, that's
They would wield the Force like nobody's business.
yeah. I don't know. That would be interesting to see.
Instead, you got Star Wars, a bunch of whiny teenagers.
Yeah.
No, well, I gotta go to town and get some power converters. Fucking power converters, Luke. The goddamn fate of the universe is in your hands, and you're worried about power converters.
What's funny is this was something they pointed out, which again, like I've been a big fan of Star Wars for a long time, but I've never been like that deep Star Wars nerd that like reads all the little side. Like I've watched the movies hundreds of times. Like you can ask me anything about the movies as long as it's not like side stuff they don't mention in the movies. Like that used to drive me nuts when they everyone in that cantina in A New Hope has like their own little mini novel.
Yeah.
Turns out everybody in that cantina that day when Luke walked in there is some kind of something important.
The guys that actually are the same race as Cad Bane, one of them was actually a clone of Cad Bane.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I believe I saw it on the Replicant.
That stuff drove
the
me.
RPF.
That stuff drove me nuts. It's like I love Star Wars, but all the expanded universe stuff that they got really crazy about, like, I mean, come on, really? On that one day, everybody in that cantina is some kind of
So they nixed the Shadows of the Empire.
Yeah, that's kind of upsetting. But
That
I
pisses
understand.
me off because. Let me tell you, the N64 game,
yes,
Dash Rendar, and the book, because I borrowed the book from my friend Randy.
Yes.
And I actually read the goddamn book, and that actually is what got me into the whole, like, pulsing, the pads you put on yourself, and they shock you.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I want that to exercise.
Yeah.
But that pissed me off because Dash Rendar was such a badass.
Yeah, he was cool, and I loved the whole Shadows of the Empire series. It was actually a series. There was the one book, and then they kind of like branched it into more books. But where was I going with this?
No idea.
What I was saying was where was so the expanded universe stuff that drove me nuts, right?
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I did like the fact that that they kept some things as canon, and then they started introducing it into this movie. That was really cool. I can't say that I had any issues really with this movie. I can't think of anything that really bothered me about this movie. Like normally there's at least something. Like I loved The Force Awakens, but there was a lot of things in The Force Awakens that really bothered me. This movie,
I absolutely love John Boyega. Is that his name? And I mean, I guess it's because of not only his performance in the movie was great, but his classiness outside of the film and just being part of the franchise. Yeah, just absolutely. I love the man. Yeah, he is so excited to be part of Star Wars and to be a fan and to be part of something like that. I'm so envious of him. Yeah. And I feel so great for somebody like that.
Well, this goes right back to the discussion we had podcasts ago about, it's awesome that these people that are fans of the franchises are now getting jobs in the franchises, whether it be the video games or the comics or the movies. Yep. And you're seeing them show love, their love for that nerddom that was there for them when they were a kid. Now they're kind of, propping it up now for the next generation, and they're and for those who have loved it just as long or longer than they have, they're making these like love letters to us, to the fans, like hey, here's some more greatness. I kind of feel like that's what Rogue One was, because when you watch Rogue One, they did such a good job of like casting these people that look exactly like, or not even exactly like, but damn close.
Mon Mothma.
Or if they didn't look like them, then they would use the computer animation to recreate them. And
that's the thing with
the Mon Mothma, the woman that plays, oh my God, she is a spot on. Like,
and I remember the article that they released. Like,
well, she was in The Force Awakens.
Yeah,
wasn't she?
I don't know.
I think she was as like the young Mon Mothma. No. Never. Maybe I'm just making that up now.
No, they released an article where they said, "Hey, this is the woman that we had as Mon Mothma." Yeah, and she looks incredibly like the original actress.
It's crazy. Like almost like they have
And I appreciate the fact that they used Carrie Fisher, and I'm not going to give it away, but they did use Carrie Fisher in the film, and they aged her the way that they did Jeff Bridges and Tron, right? That's not given. I mean, that's obvious that that's going to happen. Yeah. But just at that point in the movie, that was when I was just like sitting in my chair and I saw Carrie Fisher, and I was like, oh god, my eyes are sweating.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing.
My eyes are sweating.
Can we also for a minute focus on the fact that you finally get to see Darth Vader on the big screen,
not be a
badass,
yeah,
be an actual badass, like not the old man fight from A New Hope, not the old man young man fight from Return of the Jedi and The Empire Strikes Back, but you actually get to see him like as that
not
dark,
give a shit.
That dark.
Let's
not
touch
even
upon
not, not give a shit. You get to see that dark, powerful, person that they talk about, that they build up, because that's what a lot of Star Wars did. Is they there's a lot of talk and hype and build up of these people, but you didn't, sometimes you didn't get to see them.
But I think that there's an important point to be made there. You have a fight which occurs between Anakin Skywalker and whom he knows is his son. Yeah. At a point in which, within minutes, he betrays his lifelong endeavor of the dark side to kill his mentor, and end his entire life's work. Yes. I think that last fight he
didn't have the heart in it?
I just don't think he had the heart in it. I think where you see him in Rogue One,
oh my god,
he is just going through the motions.
And we're not giving anything away. I mean, they show the Darth Vader's in the trailer, but I'm just saying,
they show it in the trailer.
You actually get to see Darth Vader.
But you see what, and here's the thing though. At that point where he is, mechanical and whatnot, part of the reason, and I was actually these Star Wars theory videos I've been watching really heavily, they said that, and it's actually canon, that Anakin lost about 20% of his overall forceness and effectiveness when Obi-Wan decapitated all of him. Like, he lost all his limbs.
Oh yeah, he didn't decapitate him, that would be his head. But yeah, he
does decapitation necessarily mean the head? Yeah. Okay. When
it's got cap in the name.
When he bilaterally amputated his legs and arms.
And took off an arm as well.
He lost about 20% of his fighting ability.
Yeah.
So
he lost about 20% of his body.
Yeah, exactly. So he lost quite a bit of his fighting ability when that happened. So even that being said, for all those years, for him to just romp around the universe as one of the top
hunting down and killing Jedi. Like, that's what he was doing. That was his whole job. And that was, oh my god, it was so incredible. This part I am going to give away. I apologize, but just because it's just something that really touched me.
Spoilers.
Yeah. Well, when they go to, I keep wanting to say Jakku, but that's not when they go to the planet where the Jedi temple was, before the Empire, and it's now fallen because of the Empire and everything like that, and you get to see these, ginormous, statues laying in the deserts and stuff like that of, Jedi and stuff like that, and that's in the backdrop of what's going on. Yeah. Oh my god, it was amazing. It was like, wow, this was a real love letter to the fans. That's where I was going before. Yeah. This was another love letter to the fans.
And again, I know we discussed this early in the week, and again, if you don't want to hear what happens, fucking fast forward in a minute. Yeah. But I still say Scarif. I still say Scarif is Jakku.
That was the name of the planet.
I don't know, because I Googled it, and I haven't seen anything. No one's made any type of connection.
That's the one thing about the Star Wars universe that kind of annoys me, is that there's a lot of, they spend a lot of time on these desert planets.
Well, they have light travel. They have light speed travel. They can go wherever the hell they want. And
why are they hanging out on all these desert planets? Like all these planets that,
Well, I guess wherever there's kyber crystals.
Yeah.
Wherever kyber crystals, whatever the fuck brings... I'm pushing my hands together right now. Kyber crystals to be in a planet. Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
I just like I said, that's the one thing about the Star Wars, because it's a fantasy world. Essentially, it's not like it's not like Star Trek.
Wait, hold on.
I know. I'm sorry. It's not real.
But
apologize.
It says a long time ago.
I know, in a galaxy far, far away.
But wait a minute though. Long time ago. So I thought this was like
our ancestors.
What about all the pens I move with my mind? Like, what the hell?
But like Star Trek, they try to keep rooted in science as best they can. It's like the science fiction, things like that. I mean,
Star Trek's kind of the opposite spin, though.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But like for Star Wars, since it's such a fantasy thing,
Star Trek is like the dark side is the good team. Look at the Federation, though.
Oh, I see.
The Federation is straight up the Empire.
Oh my god! Can we also talk about the fact that you cracked me up after we saw the movie the first time, and you were like, "I just now realized that the Empire is xenophobic." I'm like, "Are you shitting me? You just now realized?" I know, but you just now realized that. Like, if you watch the original Star Wars movies, there's not a single alien in their ranks, you know. And on top of that, not only are they xenophobic, but they're also racist in that. There's not a black person that's in the original.
Oh, Finn.
No, okay. First
Finn
off,
was a stormtrooper
because my girlfriend's brother tried the same thing. He's not a stormtrooper. He was part of. He's a branch off of what was the First Order, which was not the original Empire.
Oh, okay,
and he was one of those kids that was kidnapped and turned into soldiers.
That's unfalsifiable, though. That's a non-falsifiable statement, though.
It's true because
you
don't
make
see
that as an
exactly because
statement.
you don't see them all without their helmets on.
Yep.
But
you can hear them scream though.
And they sound pretty white. You know, they're like, oh.
They sound all like they're clones.
You don't hear like, oh baby.
Here's the
Why'd
thing,
you
though,
shoot me?
about all the clone screams when they fall off the edge.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: Shadows of the Empire. I remember that game distinctly, and if you want to call that canon, they all had the exact same scream. And the exact
so you go back to the
voice.
clone thing, yeah.
So I think the vast majority of them are still clones.
That's one of the things I was talking about too when I was talking to somebody else about it. I'm like, so what's up with the clones now? I mean, I think that there still are a bunch of clones in
There's gotta be
in the Empire when the Empire becomes the Empire. But at the same time, because now the Empire is throughout the entire galaxy, there's a lot of people that are enlisting. Because originally, that's what Luke was going to do. He was going to enlist as a pilot in the Empire because he wanted to get off the farm. He wanted to go see the galaxy.
He couldn't afford power converters.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, if he wants to go mess around with his friends, anyways.
I'm going down and get some power. Luke Hamill, man.
Luke Hamill? Or you mean Mark Hamill?
Luke Hamill.
Luke Hamill.
Because that's who he is now in my mind.
Yes.
Mark Hamill, his delivery of that line forever, just, that is seared in my brain. Oh, going down gets a power converter. Like, what a snotty teenager.
Okay, it didn't sound that bad, by the way.
You've
really just made it worse than it ever was.
Have I over the years like that just replayed?
Yeah,
in my
you've just
head
made
as,
it worse than it ever
snotty?
was. I mean, he does come off as kind of snotty, but he's also a teenager. That's the whole thing.
Yes, but like that. But I'm just saying though, his performance was so great.
Let me tell you, and Mark Hamill is a true performance.
He is
art because I mean he found out that he was going to get scratched in the face by the Wampa or whatever it is, so he got into a car accident so that he could. So you can have the scars on his face to go with
genius.
it. Like, yeah, I mean that's dedication.
That is amazing.
Sorry. Too soon?
No, it's been 30 years.
But I love the fact
longer.
that I love the fact though that like you had this epiphany of the Empire, and it's like you don't realize that this was the Third Reich the whole time. Like this was the 46 Nazi.
46 years?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Oh my god!
No, 50. It's over 50 years, isn't it? Anyways,
it's a long time.
But it's like you had this epiphany that it finally dawned on you that like the Empire is the Third Reich. Like that just cracked me up because it's like,
well, like I knew it. Like objectively I knew it.
Yeah.
But when I read an article and they were like, "Oh yeah, the Empire doesn't have any aliens in it," and I'm like,
"Say word?"
That blew my fucking mind because here's the thing.
See,
the whole thing I based that upon was the scene where.
The bounty
Vader
hunters.
is like, the Bossick and Boba Fett and all the aliens around, hunters. And they're just chilling. And I'm like,
even in the Nazi regime, they would hire, bounty hunters and things like that.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh no shit, like wow, that's amazing.
It just cracks me because I noticed that when I was a kid. I knew when I was because I turned to my dad. I was like, when I was probably like 12 or 13, I was like, it's like there's no aliens.
Can I preface this whole thing?
Good.
I grew up in Maine.
Yeah. So I should just let that drop and then
because Maine.
So just drop the mic and walk away. Okay,
yeah,
you grew up in Maine
because it's just all white people.
Yeah, I know, I get that. My grandmother's from Maine too. So my grandfather's from Maine too. Actually, my grandfather tells me this story. Actually, when he was actually from Canada, and the part of Canada he was in, I forget where, but it's like right down the street from Maine. So moving to Maine wasn't it wasn't a big deal to move to Maine. So he moved to Maine, and then he went and joined the military. And now he'd never actually met any black people, while he was, living, in Maine and in Canada.
Yeah.
But, he heard, white people talk about black people before and use the N-word. So he thought that was like,
Okay.
Yeah, he thought that was like, instead of saying that they were black, or African American, like this was like a third title for.
This was probably in like 1950s.
Oh yeah, we're talking
like
way
long
back when. So the first time he ever meets a black guy at all, he was hanging out with a bunch of the people, in the Marines, like after they enlisted and everything like that, and some of them were racist white boys from the South, and they were like, oh, that N-word over there, and stuff like that. So he thought that was okay. So, when he went to go introduce himself to one of the black people, my grandfather was one of the sweetest men you'll ever meet. No, not a racist bone in his body. He just thought that this was
okay.
He thought that's the way that you refer to, So he was like, hey, N-word, and they got into a fight, obviously, and it took through the fight for this other gentleman to realize that my grandfather was completely clueless, because my grandfather had no idea why they were fighting. Like, he's like, why are we fighting? Like, we're in the middle of a fist fight, and I had no idea what's going on, And after that, they became lifelong friends and things like that, and helped, my grandfather was educated on that kind of thing. But, so when you say that you were from Maine, because I have that story from my grandfather, it makes sense to me. I get that.
That's actually that's actually an incredible story.
Yeah. It was cool though, because like my grandfather had I grew up, with my grandfather here in Palm Bay, and so I knew I had a lot of black friends and things like that. He had a lot of black friends. So for me, there was never, there was never an issue as far as that's concerned. But later on in life, my, grandfather, who was embarrassed of the story, told me about the story, that happened and his first experience in meeting a black person, and all that stuff. And I was like, oh my God, like just to think of how,
the irony of it is when I grew up, I remember my first time ever meeting a black person, was at a supermarket.
Okay.
And the gentleman was the coach of the high school football team for the town I lived in.
Yeah.
And my mother happened to know him through, I don't know, school, or maybe she knew him. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But I just distinctly remember meeting the gentleman, shaking his hand, and just being absolutely in awe. Like, I had no idea people could look like that.
Especially because you're really pale, so I can imagine.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I legitimately look
as
like powder.
As I am really pale. As I'm really pale too.
I look like powder.
Yeah.
But I met this man, and that absolutely blew my mind. And at the time, I just thought, wow, people can look different. And that set the tone for my whole life.
And we're talking like what, the 80s, 90s?
I was probably 4 or 5. I was real young.
So 80s, right?
Yeah. This was in the 80s.
So isn't that amazing to think that even in the 80s? As soon as the 80s, there was still, oh my God, now back with the creepy Felton picture,
pale face. But I think it's amazing that even in Maine, though, over the course of the number of years, I consider Maine, when I grew up, to be one of the least racist states.
Yeah. Even
with the lack of diverse population, the white people there. There's oh my God, I'm not racist, like that. Just they consider it so offensive to even have the sentiment there. It's not a terrible state.
Got way off
track. I'm trying to say.
So what other nerd things are going on besides Rogue One? Because we could probably sit here and talk about Rogue One the entire podcast. It was that good,
And John Bogoya, because he's a goddamn wonderful man.
Oh, and let's also point out that we are both idiots for the whole Bothan thing. So Felton and I, the whole time, we think that we are just the bee's knees. We think that we are just.
I'm waiting the whole fucking time.
We think that we are just the nerds of nerds. We're just we're finally going to be able to see some Bothans.
How many Bothans died?
I can't wait.
I've got my clicker.
I cannot wait to see how many Bothans died. And then after the movie, we're like, there were no Bothans in the movie. We thought that we were just. This elite nerd. Yeah, we're just they didn't put any Bothans in this movie. Well, first off, they did put a Bothan in the movie. There's a Bothan in the movie.
There is. You didn't confirm it.
There's one. Well, it's got to be the one that's on the ship with the gun, just taking out.
Well, he's a little wide mouth thing. Remember, the Bothans are hairy.
No. I'm talking about the hairy one, not the one that was on the ground that was part of the Rogue One.
That maybe was a Bothan.
I think that was a Bothan that was on the. He was a gunner, taking out. Anyways,
he might not have even died though.
Yeah, but what? So again, Joe and I, we think that we're just the most clever people in the world, right? Yeah. So it turns out that that whole line about
Mon Mothma,
how many
Bothans died
to get
to bring it
yeah,
down.
we totally forgot that had nothing to do with the first movie. It had nothing to do with The New Hope.
It's the second Death Star.
Yeah, so
the second one that apparently had another flaw.
So yeah, we are.
Can you please explain this to me?
Well, here's the thing.
Another flaw with the exhaust ports.
The second Death Star was also had no skin on it on half of the thing. So like it had a lot. You'd imagine there's a lot of flaws.
Yes,
like you can imagine there's a lot of ways to take that thing out. But anyways, yeah. So. It was rather funny, like later, because here I am, I'm like posting on social media, like,
yeah. How many Bothans?
Where are all the Bothans? And then, then we found out that we're complete idiots, so.
Yeah, I feel like kind of an asshole. Yeah. Because we were walking out of the theater.
Yeah,
and you were posting that.
Yeah, we thought we were posting. Oh, where were all the Bothans? But I didn't take it down because you know what? I stand behind my stupidity. Just like on this podcast, every time I'm wrong, I think
the only time we ever edited anything was the early Dogcast episode.
Yes,
where there were multiple barking incidences, and it was detracting from the experience.
Speaking of which, the heroin that you gave your dogs.
It's called Green Laser Light. I got them. One of them was crazy over the green laser in the backyard. And the other, I tricked into chasing a bird-like lure on a string.
Yes.
And I whip it around, and she goes, "How crazy!"
Did you really just whip it around?
I whipped it.
How do you say Cool Whip?
Cool Whip.
They say Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton.
All right. So, oh my god. These creepy pictures that I keep seeing of Felton are, and you still. All right. So, anyways, getting way distracted here. Okay. So besides Star Wars, what other?
Okay. So I got a gift card.
Okay.
And I bought We Happy Few.
We Happy Few. Okay.
It is a first-person survival game that is in pre-alpha.
Yep.
Based upon 1984.
Okay.
The reason I say that is because you basically
like the book.
The book, okay. George Orwell's 1984. Okay. You basically play a character which is Winston Smith. Mm-hmm. You start off and you are in the Ministry of Truth. Mm-hmm. I think it was the Ministry of Truth. And you are redacting newspaper articles. Okay. Okay? Straight up. That is what Winston did in 1984. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay? Minus writing the whole, oh my god, I can't believe that old blue shirt you have a picture of.
Back on the podcast.
Like 10 pictures.
Back to the podcast.
Sorry, I'm looking at.
This is why he should not drink in
pod. That statement,
Don't
please.
drink in podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Anyway, the whole idea of him writing the journal and whatnot.
And whatnot.
Not part of We Happy Few. Mm-hmm. Okay, the concept of We Happy Few is you're in this Orwellian future. Mm-hmm. Okay, and you stop taking your joy. Your joy is the kind of pseudo hallucinogenic drug that makes you forget your memories and makes everything literally appear like sunshine and rainbows.
Oh my god, I'm really liking the sound of this.
Crappy ghetto town, which you end up in. It's in its pre-alpha state right now. It's still kind of really fun to play. Mm-hmm. I kind of use the cheats. Because it's really not polished. Yeah. So I was just like, I don't want to deal with the survival aspect of having to drink and eat and not have the plague. Yeah. So I turned the cheats on because I'm done with that. I'm old and don't have time for that shit.
I got time for no surviving.
Yeah, I
try to survive every day.
Oh my god!
Okay, all right.
The Panther picture.
Okay, if you remember on the podcast. A while back, Felton had told the story of a gentleman who was a furry
at DragonCon
in a panther costume. I am now looking at said picture, and we have to post this on the nub, right? This has to go on the nub along with this podcast. I almost think we should change the picture just for this one podcast with this picture.
But legitimately have no idea. I must have given.
Hold on, let me explain this picture. So now I am now seeing a picture of our boy Felton, and he is standing next to a man who is literally in a Black Panther costume. And I mean like the actual animal, not like a militant African American, an actual
green sunglasses.
Yeah, in green aviator sunglasses. Yes. A full suit and a Heineken in his hand.
It was the Heineken that set me off on that.
I have to say, Joe's face looks very uncomfortable. Like it looks like he's trying to smile.
If I can remind you,
please.
The entirety of this story was we were at DragonCon. I think I went down to the shop to get a water, even because you know that they don't give you water in the hotel room, right? Because they charge like $15 for it. So I went downstairs and I was coming back to the room. and I saw this guy, right? He was a furry outfit. He had the Black Panther, he was a Panther mask, the gloves, the sunglasses, and he was sitting there. He was grooving to the music, and he had his two friends, which were like Night at the Roxbury, next to him, right? Two guys in suits, and they were just sitting there in the chair around this. It was one of the main pillars at the Westin Hotel, right? Because we were staying at the Westin, and they were just sitting there. And they were rocking it out. And I said, this moment, this picture of them, the two guys and the Panther mask is hilarious. I want to get a picture of that. That's what I wanted a picture of. Mm-hmm. And he goes, and his little jaw moves when he talks. Oh, no, my friends will get a picture. Oh, that's fine. So they take my phone, and they get a picture of me with him, and that's not what I wanted. And he, really snuggled up to me.
Yes.
Real close. And I'm not saying anything about the guy.
I can tell in this picture that he is definitely right next to
you. Whatever. Oh, and there's a picture of Yaya Han. Yep, right there.
Oh, wow. That's actually
with my
really
girlfriend.
Cool. Yes.
She is so sweet, too.
Super soft.
Yeah.
Super soft. Well,
she is so
she's
sweet.
Extremely sexy.
She is such an awesome person, too. But, so this Panther furry guy completely cuddles up on me. Wraps his arm around me, in a very comfortable way, and takes the picture.
Overly comfortable way, I would imagine.
Overly comfortable way. And I'm just like, oh God, what? No, this isn't what I wanted. No, I wanted a picture of the moment that I saw. And yeah.
It's like one of those memes. It's like, and at this very moment, Felton realized that he effed up.
I fucked up. I should have continued walking. And that's what you have to look forward to next August.
Yes. I'm really excited. I'm excited about all these cons coming out.
You're going to get molested by some furries.
I'm hoping so, actually. I'm hoping that happens. If that doesn't happen, I might be disappointed.
You got to bookmark that picture, because I had no idea that was still there.
We need to save that picture so that we can put
it
on.
And that fella, that's Wesker right there, let me tell you something about his jacket. That whole costume was fucking amazing. That's why I stopped and got his picture, because that was incredible.
All right, so overall, and now that we've been sidetracked again.
Yeah.
Overall,
We Happy Few.
Yes.
I recommend it. I think that when it comes to its final product, it is likely going to be an awesome game.
Okay.
I don't know how you feel about this, all right, but Blizzard released a comic, okay? Tracer's gay.
Really?
Yeah, they've straight up, in the comic, she has an extremely attractive redhead girlfriend.
Tracer?
And they are...
Okay, here's my thing.
Have an apartment?
Again, this comes back to, why does it matter? Why are we putting a sexuality to a character like this? Unless was it a pivotal part of the story?
She was trying to buy her a scarf.
Oh, so it was like a Christmas story?
Exactly.
Kind of thing? Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, well then I'm okay with that. That doesn't bother me.
Yeah, there was a pertinent thing. Apparently the scarf was an important part of it.
As long as it wasn't okay, she's gonna go save the world, and all of a sudden it's oh, but first I have to go kiss my girlfriend.
Here's the thing. Farrah has some gruffy-looking pilot, gray hair, somewhat looking dude.
Yeah.
So the whole pharmacy thing, I don't think is shipped. I don't think pharmacy...
You don't think it's going to happen?
No. I think they've denied it. I think they straight up said no. Mercy got a letter or text from somebody, so we still have no idea, because he told...
she killed... Mercy, I'm sorry. I'm just thinking of the wrong person, I'm sorry. I was thinking Widowmaker. I'm she killed her husband, didn't she?
Oh, no, she's at her husband's grave.
Yeah, okay.
That's sad.
Yeah. I guess, Gabriel? Okay, I'm going to start reading this. I'm going to start reading the...
Yeah, she's at Gabriel's grave. Obviously. It's sad. You look at it and you go, that's fucking twisted.
I am so upset. There's one skin that I want, and I can't get
Nutcracker.
The Nutcracker. I want the Zenyatta Nutcracker. I got the Badass Reaper one. That's cool. I got what's his name? Santa Claus.
You want to know something funny? In the comic, McCree is absolutely blackout drunk. Behind the bar.
Nice.
Right? He somehow got behind the bar. He's passed out.
Who lets the cowboy behind the bar?
Sombra is in the background drinking with him. So they're like some kind of homeboys or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's something going on there that they're like... McCree...
Well, they were all...
crew,
except for Junkrat and Roadhog. I thought they were all...
Roadhog and Junkrat are still looting shit.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is they were all a team, and then they kind of broke off into two separate teams. I don't think so. I thought she was part of the original Overwatch team, and then they all broke off. Or she joined later? Talon. Okay.
Because she's young.
Okay.
I think she's straight Talon.
Okay.
But, there's a bar, and Sombra's there in the background, upset, and McCree is fucking passed out.
Okay.
So, I don't know, maybe if he's,
Some Kree?
Maybe there's a Sombra Kree that we need to ship.
Macrumba?
I don't know how you do.
I'm not good at the shipping thing. Yeah, I'm not good at shipping.
But I mean, I guess I'd be cool with it because he's like straight up cowboy and she's kind of cowgirl hacker ish.
So my girl had a very sexy realization when we were talking the other day. I only say it's sexy because
as you're holding a dill pickle.
Yes,
I've got to preface.
I'm going to eat this.
You're holding a Van Holten.
I'm going to eat this while I tell the story
in a bag.
It makes you uncomfortable the whole time.
Yeah,
but
behind the voice shield that I made.
So
out of cardboard.
I only say that it's sexy because of the simple fact that I just love when she comes to me with these nerdy hypotheses because it's so cool to see her put these things together. So you saw Batman versus Superman, right?
Yes.
Okay, and you saw in the beginning who played Thomas Wayne and Martha Wayne, right? It was Jeffrey Dean Morgan and I cannot remember her name, but from The Walking Dead. No, from The Walking Dead. Both very highly paid actors nowadays, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so for them to have just a small spot in the beginning of that film, is kind of offsetting, right? A little off-putting. Well, one of her favorite storylines, my girl's favorite storyline, and actually one of mine too, is the Flashpoint storyline in the comic books. Okay, and in Flashpoint, Flash does something, I don't want to give it away if you haven't read it, but he does something that kind of screws up the whole timeline, kind of thing, kind of like the show's doing now.
Goddamn time travel.
Yeah, and what ends up happening is that instead of Bruce Wayne becoming Batman, Thomas Wayne becomes Batman. Bruce is the one that gets killed, And then Martha Wayne becomes the Joker. She becomes evil and sinister and crazy. Shit. So, in Batman vs. Superman the movie, you see the Flash come back to talk to Batman and warn him of things to come, right? He time travels backwards to warn him about things to come. You've got two very highly paid, actors playing his parents for just literally a minute in the movie. Why would you do that? She's thinking, I don't think it's going to happen, but would it not be amazing to see a Flashpoint-esque, DC movie where Jeffrey Dean Morgan plays the badass, gun-toting, Batman, Thomas Wayne Batman, in a movie with the, crazy, psychotic, more alcohol.
What? No.
Martha Wayne.
I have 10 minutes to drink this.
Joker. With these actors, with the actor and actress that would be perfect for those characters. Now, I don't think it's going to happen, but let me tell you, if it did happen, it would probably be in DC's best interest. That would be one of those things that could actually probably save the franchise if done right.
Didn't we not discuss this with Suicide Squad?
About
them needing to up their game?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, if they did that, oh my God, that would be amazing.
They already took the
Jeffrey Dean
option.
Morgan would be a fantastic, Thomas Wayne Batman.
Let's have the frank discussion. They took the nuclear option. They got Jared Leto. Okay? Mm-hmm. That's the nuclear option on any movie. You want the fucking awesome actor. I love Jared Leto. I would love to see him do more with Joker.
He's going to. They're working on a Batman movie.
I know. It's
going to take now. If it takes place before the Suicide Squad, like a prequel kind of thing, I think that would be fantastic because I would love to see Jared Leto as the Joker without all the crazy.
I'm tired of the everything happening and then doing the prequel. Just straight up do the prequel now. Do the prequel now.
I get that, but I would like to see Jared Leto's Joker without the obnoxious grill.
That's what I'm saying. Do the prequel now. Because don't do 2-3 movies.
Oh yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah, because apparently from what the director and writers were saying, the reason that the Joker looks the way he does is because Batman, messes him up, in a fight kind of thing, screws his teeth up and everything like that. So he no longer he's very superficial. He thinks he's a very sexy man. So when that happens, that's why he gets the damage tattoo on his forehead. He does all the grill stuff and all this obnoxiousness because now he feels like he's been.
I love the fact
tainted.
that he actually. I don't know, and I don't know how you feel about it because of your background. Mm-hmm. But there were a lot of moments in there where he was acting, and I was like, he actually seems like a crazy asshole.
You're talking about Jared Leto?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
In Suicide Squad, There were several moments
Well,
in
you've
there.
seen his other movies, right? Like, he's an extreme method actor.
He is. There was a movie where he played
That's why I was worried about him playing the Joker.
Person,
yes,
right?
that was the
about the AIDS medicine.
Yeah, with the all right.
Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, Matthew McConaughey.
I caught the tail end of that at
something
work one
Buyers
night.
Club.
The Dallas Buyers
Club, yeah.
And I thought, holy shit, this guy is fucking great. Like, I don't... what other movie did he do?
He's done a few movies where he's just been a fantastic actor.
He's been bang up. He's a bang up
Well, here's
actor.
the thing. He was a great Joker. I don't care what anybody says. The little bit of time that you got to see him on screen as a Joker, he was phenomenal. I thought he was phenomenal.
Was it you, or who was I talking to, where they brought up the fact that in the Suicide Squad...
Well, they cut out a lot of his scenes.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
You had elite military troops.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was my brother that was talking about this. God damn it, I don't remember who it was. Elite military troops, right? All these zombie mush creatures.
Yes.
And then you have Margot Robbie coming up with a baseball bat. Robbie?
Just that one I have because my girl's obsessed with them. So
just hitting the zombie men
with the Goodnight baseball bat.
With a Goodnight baseball bat, and they're just disintegrating and dying.
Yes.
And you have elite military troops, and they're just dying in droves.
Yes.
But her baseball bat is somehow...
maybe it's magical. Maybe it's like a Thor. Maybe it's like Thor's hammer. It's like the Majorn of the DC universe. Something like that, yeah.
Melanoir. I don't know. Here's the thing. Mm-hmm. My recommendation for the night is the Iron Druid Chronicles. Great audiobook series, great book series. But it deals with Thor and a druid who is in contention with Thor. Apparently, Thor is an asshole in this series.
Let's be honest, all the ancient gods and goddesses from mythology are assholes. They were assholes. They were complete assholes.
The only one that was actually halfway decent was an immortal, the Morgan, the battle crow, the raven, that would come and take your soul to the afterlife. She's all right.
Well, and then there's like Prometheus, who got punished for trying to help man.
Sure.
You know, which I mean, I know that's not Norse mythology. I'm just saying, you know, like we're talking about the few that were not, you know.
But the Iron Druid Chronicles, actually, one of the series that I plan to go completely and follow, just because Atticus Finch is a fucking awesome character. 1,000-year-old druid, badass.
His name is Atticus Finch, like.
I fucked up. His name isn't Atticus Finch.
Okay, I was like
Atticus O'Sullivan. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
My bad. And the whole thing with that series is he starts off badass, right? He's already immortal. Mm-hmm. He already has all his power from being a druid.
He's a great lawyer.
He's a fucking amazing lawyer. He actually makes tea for old people. All right. The part I fucking love about the book is the ridiculous puns and references to pop culture, because he tries to blend in so hard. Okay, so he has his little shop, his little occult shop, right? And he makes this tea for old people that kind of gives them a touch of the immortality, and he calls it immortality and mobility.
Nice.
And he sells this stuff, and these old people they love their mobility because it helps with their arthritis and stuff.
Man, I hope it's like is it in like Miami?
It's in Tempe, Arizona.
Oh, I was hoping it was like in Miami. Where
no,
like a lot of old Jewish people. And like,
he's trying to hide
from my
from one of the. Because here's the thing, and the way that they address the multiverse and all this stuff, what a wonderful series. I've been following it for a while. I got into a bunch of book series because I finished the Dresden Files, right? Or up to the current story. And I was like, I need something else. So a bunch of people online were like, The Iron Druid. It's a great series. So I got into that. And then there was another series, Mindspace Investigations, which is about a psychic detective in the future, right? Oh, wow. After the world becomes an apocalypse. Mm-hmm. And Mindspace is very Blade Runner-esque. And that's why I've been so excited. So let's transition into that. Mm-hmm. The fucking Blade Runner trailer. I am so excited for this.
I think that trailer answered a question you had, though.
What's that?
Is
Deckard a replicant?
Obviously not.
Well, he showed up. Mm-hmm. No, he is.
He's an old man.
He's got to be a replicant. But the question was, did he or what's her name have the longevity?
How can he be a replicant if he's an old man?
But they have the longevity. That was the thing. The whole thing with replicants is they were bioengineered creatures. Okay,
Yes.
they were almost cyborgs with bioelectrical parts.
Yes.
Right. So in the book, there was an issue of, without question, Philip K. Dick and Ridley Scott he's a replicant. Okay. Yeah. The director's cut addresses that he's a replicant, right? But the issue is were they going to live? Because look at Rutger Hauer's character. His speech at the end of the movie about the C-beams and it's all tears in the rain.
Yeah.
Was all about all the things that he had seen in his experience were essentially nothing, because he was nothing. He was just this blip of a life. And that was it, with Rachel, is do they have that longevity? So I thought that was kind of interesting that, well, they obviously answered that in the trailer. Yes, he has a longevity. So are we going to finally address the issue of, is he a replicant or not?
See, I thought because
we know she is.
I thought that answered the question, because I thought the replicants didn't age.
It's still up in the air.
I thought they didn't age.
No, they can't. Both she and he could be alive in this trailer, or in this film.
Okay.
Because we don't know.
Well, I'm excited because it's one of my favorite actors that's going to be playing alongside Harrison Ford.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, though.
Who is it?
What?
The actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's his name. The Notebook.
Ryan Gosling.
I legitimately had a brain fart. I'm looking at his gorgeous face in my mind, and I'm like, yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah, him. Yeah.
That was a smart idea. They take one of the most sexy men from his day, and put it alongside one of the sexy men from this day. Well, he does that a lot. He does a lot of
But what I'm saying,
did you ever see Drive?
Yeah. Oh, I love Drive.
Oh my God, it's a fantastic film. Anyways,
my buddy bought the jacket from Drive.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Like the actual jacket?
Yeah.
Oh wow. How much did that cost him?
Like $150.
That's it?
Or maybe more. I don't know.
They're just like throwing it out the back.
He was really all
Somebody literally just grabbed it out of a trash can.
What does it say?
All right, our attention is being drawn to this.
But
Blizzard reveals Tracer is lesbian,
but it's not
the internet's
Diva.
going nuts.
That's not Diva, though. Her girlfriend is some unknown character.
Oh, yep. I see the picture now where they're kissing. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's
I'm looking
not
at
a big
picture.
Deal.
I'm looking at a picture of Tracer, and she's kind of like in some regular clothes, except for she's got her goggles on, and she's kissing some redhead woman in a ugly
But here's
Christmas
the thing:
sweater.
it's not that big of a deal.
Well, it's part of the storyline, so that's fine.
But what I'm saying though is like, what? It's not a big deal.
That she's gay?
Yeah.
Well, okay. As much as we would like to say that, there are still people that have issues with homosexuality and things like that.
Just as the people that were boycotting Rogue One as a Star Wars feature because there's interracial relationships.
You meant The Force Awakens.
The Force Awakens. I apologize.
That was our Ku Klux Klan people, right?
Yeah.
Tracer could be bi.
What? So what?
Exactly. Why is the internet?
Hold on. What was that?
Tracer could be bi. Who cares?
It doesn't matter. If it's part of the story and it's an interesting story, and it feeds to the lore of Overwatch, what the hell does it matter? She's hot.
She's got an accent.
Tracer?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like really skinny women. So.
Have you seen Tracer's booty?
Well, yeah, that broke the internet, did it not?
Whoa.
I'm all about the booty too.
Yeah.
I'm more of a diva guy, but only when she's in the mech, because the mech's a big mech. Like I like my mechs thick. You know what I mean? I like a thick neck. I like a thick
you
mech.
You like that Hannah Song.
I like big mechs, and I cannot lie.
You like that Hannah Song.
Yeah.
To me, Hannah Song. The fact that I know Diva's real name is just how
way too into the Overwatch universe you are.
Overwatch I am. Oh my god.
Nice. So, what other interesting things are breaking the internet these days?
Well, I just I got to make mention of Vermintide. I don't know if I mentioned it. Did I mention it last week?
Yeah. About how they're going to do 3D and how it's going to...
the update dropped.
Oh, okay.
They straight up released DLC for it.
Okay.
A whole new map.
Okay.
Takes place in winter. It's so fucking badass. I started playing it. I did all the campaigns.
Mm-hmm.
Started playing through it. It's great.
Nice.
They did some major tweaks to the gameplay, and they made it run. I couldn't even tell you. It is so smooth now.
Well, we're running against the clock here. I just want to bring one thing up real quick.
Go for it.
If I can see it before it comes up.
I can always push back the
That's true.
the
That's
ending audio.
Viera
I'm
Comics
saying.
is going to be doing a Women in Comics cosplay event on January 14th.
January 14th.
Yeah, are you going to dress in cosplay and go to that? I think.
As a woman?
Well, no, you don't have to be a woman per se. I
What
don't
day is
think,
that
but
on?
January 14th.
You fucking asshole.
That sounds awesome.
Oh, that's a Saturday. I have off. I can do that. What do you?
We
What do
should
you want
maybe
me?
go hit that up.
What do you want me to do?
We'll just dress in the cosplay. I'm
Oh,
gonna.
God damn it, dude! Have you
I
seen
have
my
to-
closet?
Hearthstone, the streets of Gagazan.
Uh-huh.
So good.
Hearthstone. Streets
What
of
What would be
Hearthstone.
appropriate?
I'm going
Oh,
to
we're
get
running again.
It's fine.
We'll see.
Don't worry about
Most
it.
likely I'm going to get the Lotus tattoo.
The Lotus tattoo. From
I'm
nice.
straight up like when she comes back from her vacation. I'm like straight up tattoo. Here we go.
Tattoo
This is
crazy.
great.
I'm getting tattoos.
All right. Well,
Tattoos.
I guess we
hold
should
on.
we should sign off
We
because
gotta
we're about
settle this. I
Okay.
can push this audio back.
Okay.
I can push the ending back.
Okay.
What am I dressing up as for this cosplay
Actually,
event?
you two should do the Beetlejuice and
You want Beetlejuice and Lydia?
Lydia again, man. That would be awesome.
All right, I can. I am all about doing Beetlejuice again because
And I'll see.
I'm not gonna lie.
I'll see what Foxtail's gonna do.
Yeah,
Maybe I'll try to get a cosplay out before then. We'll see. Maybe I'll
we
try to
have
do like
a couple of weeks. What do
Yeah.
you want?
Huh? I don't know yet. I keep wanting to do the Beast thing, but I'm having trouble finding
Ooh.
like some claws that would be nice enough, and I gotta find a suit.
You gotta do
The makeup
blue
I'm not
paint.
worried about because I know that Foxtail can do the makeup for me, no problem.
You gotta do all your hair blue.
Yeah, that's fine. That's not an issue either.
Blue
you know.
face paint.
Yeah, that's
neck.
all. That's all straight. I just need some good gloves that don't look like crap. They don't look like
What do you
cheesy
want?
Halloween gloves. You know,
For, like hands.
yeah, like the claws, but without them looking like
All right.
and they got to be blue. And I can get the suit. I can do all the other stuff. So, but anyways, so yeah, we're gonna try to hit up this VR Comics cosplay thing and wreck the house. So, try to make it on the 14th of January. The VR Comics.
Do my parents that night. See what I can do.
And I guess we should sign off now that we've gone a little over.
1 minute and 30 seconds over. That's
Yeah,
all.
we're straight. So this is the Merce,
It's Velton.
and we'll talk to you later.
All right. All right, bye.